the technical session, we have with us Tanish Gangurde. He is an environmental engineer with interest in market-based climate change solutions. He is currently heading the operations at Climfinity, a carbon credit consultancy, advisory, and trading firm, where he works with project developers to establish climate positive projects and generate carbon revenue for them. He is in charge of keeping track of many stakeholders, including registries, CTM, Vera, BCS, Gold Standard, and so on, project developers, and third-party auditors. Climfinity is an emerging carbon offset trading and advising organization based in India that specializes in delivering comprehensive technical, commercial, and strategic advice in the fields of climate change and the environment. They are a group of individuals with experience in climate mitigation and adaptation. They offer businesses, organizations, and individuals the opportunity to become carbon neutral. They help their customers blend their emission reductions into international markets. They enable organizers to offset their carbon footprint and contribute to the fight against climate change. They provide assistance to the project developer in the issuance of carbon credits and trading them into international markets. So today, he will be presenting on the emerging carbon credit opportunities in the field of restoration and clean energy. So we welcome you, Tanish. You can start with your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for the introduction, ma'am. Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Swati Swastrabuddhi and her team for having me over here. And I would also like to thank Mr. Ramesh Venkatraman sir for recommending my name to the panel. I would like to mention that I'll be speaking today on behalf of our team, Climfinity. We are a small team of 6 people. We are a carbon credit consulting, advisory, and trading firm. We do work in anything and everything that is related to carbon credits. So today's topic of discussion is carbon credits, the emerging opportunities in the field of restoration and clean energy. I believe that this will be very much interesting for the people who are working in this field of restoration and want to raise more money, more funds for their efforts through carbon credit. So these are the contents that we'll be going through. Actually, I have added all the basic things as well. I'm sorry for that. So first we need to understand what global warming is. We all know that global warming is the increase in Earth's average temperature and gradual heating of Earth's surface, oceans, and atmosphere. It is a result of enhanced greenhouse gas effect, and in general, it is increasing the temperature of Earth, and ultimately it is leading to the climate change. So as we all know that climate change is already affecting us through extreme weather conditions like drought, heat waves, etc. Loss of biodiversity is one of the major consequences of climate change, and this is majorly driven by the activities, anthropogenic activities like deforestation, intensive farming, waste disposal, etc. Yeah. So coming to the next point, enhanced greenhouse gas effect. So this is the main reason why there is global warming on Earth. So as we all know, greenhouse gas effect is one of the major reasons why there is life on Earth. Without greenhouse gas effect, Earth's average temperature could have been around minus 18 degrees Celsius, which is now 16 degrees Celsius with greenhouse gas effect. So greenhouse gas effect is basically, there are some greenhouse gases present in the atmosphere. They trap the heat from sun, which ultimately keeps our globe warm. But post-industrialization era, that is post-1870, what happened is because of human activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, cattle farming, use of fertilizers, etc. We have emitted more and more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which has eventually resulted in enhanced greenhouse gas effect, and the global warming and climate change are the consequences. Coming to the next point. These are the 6 principal greenhouse gases. First one is CO2, that is carbon dioxide. We all are aware of it. The second one is perfluorocarbon. Third one is methane. And fourth is nitrous oxide, then sulfur hexafluoride, and hydrofluorocarbon. Among these 4, SF6 is the most high potent global greenhouse gas with a global warming potential of around 24,000. And after that, HFC23, fluoroform is one of the most highest potent greenhouse gas. Now coming to the main part, that is carbon credit. So what is a carbon credit, guys? A carbon credit is basically a tradable unit that represents 1 ton of greenhouse gas emission reductions, avoidance, or removals. Okay. So carbon credit is basically generated by the climate positive projects that are certified by the carbon standards like CDM, Vera VCS, or gold standards, etc. These carbon credits are then purchased by the companies, individuals, or governments to offset their greenhouse gas emissions on paper. The main goal of creation of this whole industry is the reduction of emission of greenhouse gases from various anthropogenic activities. So how this thing works, okay? How carbon offsetting works. So let's consider there is this on the left hand side. We have several industries which are emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Every sector has some carbon footprint. May it be aviation, shipping, like any kind of industry you take, energy you take, construction sector. Every industry emits carbon dioxide into greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. On the other hand, we have the people who are restoring forest, for establishing uh, uh, renewable energy projects. So ultimately, they are doing something climate positive. Okay. So what they can do is they can claim that say that we because of our effort because of our restoration effort, our forest can sequester 1,000. Let's just consider 1,000 tons of carbon dioxide a year. So they'll go to the registry and get carbon credits for them. This carbon credits can be sold to these companies, and these companies can offset their emissions on paper, and they can provide money to this. Okay, so how are carbon credits generated? There are three major ways in which an activity can generate carbon credits. One, it has to be reducing the greenhouse gas emission. Second, there should be avoidance, or third, there should be removal of emission. So for today's session, I'll be focusing on this third part, that is destroy or capture greenhouse gas emissions. This removal of greenhouse gas emission can happen by two ways. One is by artificial means. Second one is nature-based solutions. So by artificial means, so far we have developed some technologies like DACC and CCS. These are DACC stands for I guess direct air carbon capture, and CCS for carbon capture and storage. But these are very expensive methods. And on the other hand, we have NBS, that is nature-based solutions like forestation restoration or improved forest management, etc. Now, come to the carbon market. Carbon market is a place where we trade this carbon credits. It consists of all the players like consultants, advisors, brokers, sellers, buyers, project developers, registry, everything. So the main aim is to encourage the companies to limit their emissions, because if they emit more, they will have to buy more carbon credits, which will be very much hectic for them. And this is a global market. This is an international market. A project can be anywhere, and the buyer can be from any other country. So this is a global market. But some countries have their own carbon markets, like European Union have their own ETS, emission trading system. China has come up with their own carbon market. So today we will be focusing only on the voluntary carbon market. So as we all know, in every market there are two sides. One is supply side, and another is demand side. So in supply side, we can see it is regulated by the local, national, and international governments, like United Nations also is there, and there are some carbon standards. So let's assume there is this project developer, a program manager, who has successfully implemented a climate positive project. A climate positive project can be any project. Let's consider it's a restoration project, that somebody has restored a land and reforested it. So this what this project manager will do. This will go to the carbon registry, and this he will register their project there, and then the standard will verify all the documents and issue them with the carbon credits. Okay, so this carbon credits can then be sold to the demand side, that is to investors, corporates, individuals, governments, etc., in exchange of money. So this money can ultimately again be used to expand the project. Carbon credit registries are the focal point of the whole market. They register, validate, verify, and issue carbon credits for the project. So CDM is run by Clean Development Mechanism, is run by UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is actually mother of the whole market. It is the oldest registry. Then after that, VCS, Vera VCS is one of the famous registries. Then Gold Standard, then Plan Vivo. Plan viewer is a very interesting registry because this allows the project which are from the Latin American region, mostly the Amazon rainforest conservation projects are registered in this. Then GCC is also there. This focuses on mostly the MENA region, that is the Middle East and North African region. Okay, so the project cycle in voluntary carbon market is this, something like this. A project idea just comes to someone's mind. Somebody will say that he wants to restore a land, he wants to do forestation on a land. So the project proponent will check for its feasibility, then manage finances, and then will start operating the project. At the same time, the proponent can make documents and go to the carbon standards and say that because of our project, because of our restoration, the land can sequester some more amount of carbon dioxide now. So that much amount of carbon credits you will be awarded. So this carbon credits can ultimately be sold to the buyers, and the efforts can be monetized. So sectoral scope is basically the categories. So there are total 16 categories of projects which can be done, but today we'll only focus on this first, renewable energy, and 14th is a forestry project. So methodology is basically a guide. It guides the project proponent that what they should be doing and how should they be implementing that project. There are total 190 approved methodologies that project proponents can use. But for afforestation and restoration projects, these four are the most important uh, methodologies. First two are large scale methodologies. Large scale methodologies means this the project registered through this methodology can sequester more than 16,000 tons of carbon dioxide a year. Okay, and on the other hand, these are last two other small scale methodologies. And this the project is eligible if it is say sequestering less than 16,000 tons of carbon dioxide. So now, actually, the voluntary carbon market has been seeing immense growth since last 2 to 3 years. Uh, it has recently, in December 2021, reached the market cap of around $1 billion. Not market cap, the overall market size has been increased to $1 billion, and it is expected to be at $200 billion by the end of 2050. So it is a very nascent market, and it is very explosive growing market as well. Now, coming to the main point today, that the types of forestry projects. So what are the types of projects which can be registered? Okay, so there are three types we can see here. One is afforestation and restoration. Sorry, reforestation project. There is a land. There is an open land. A project proponent can go there and start plantation. They will develop a forest over there, and after a period of maybe 40 years, there will be a dense forest over there. Okay, so that is afforestation. Second is forest conservation. There is a dense forest. Just consider there is a dense forest, and by using various technologies and technological advancement, the project proponent will conserve the project and will keep as it is for a very long time. And after that, there comes improved forest management. So just consider if there is a forest cover of around 10-15%, and you use some advanced technology and you increase the forest cover, then that project can also be registered. So these are the three main eligibility criteria for any project to get registered. One is additionality. So additionality is basically we have to prove to the registry that this project that we are doing cannot run without the money on from the uh, sale of carbon credits. Okay, so carbon revenue is a very important source for the development of project. So that is the additionality we'll have to prove. Second is the permanence. Permanence is, as we all know that some people, what can they do is they can just plant tree for 1 year, 2 year, and they'll keep it as it is. That is not gonna work here. They will have to give guarantee that they will keep on doing this project for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So that is permanence. And third one is non-leakage. There shouldn't be any leakage of carbon dioxide from the uh, forest also. So now coming to the forest tools. In the nature-based solution, the carbon is stored in this type of carbon pools. So carbon pools are basically above ground biomass, which is a tree, we can call it. Then litter, that is uh, pollen, leaves, etc. Then some woods also, CWD is what we call it, coarse woody debris, and below ground biomass. So below ground biomass is, they say that some scientists have said that it is uh, it stores around 50% of the total forest carbon. So it is a very important thing. So now we'll just go quickly through these two methodologies. The first one is afforestation and restoration. Sorry, afforestation and reforestation of degraded mangrove habitats. This is only applicable for the degraded mangrove habitats. So the baseline scenario is there is a wetland and there is a very degraded mangrove habitat over there. And what the project proponent will do, they will go there and they will plant more and more mangroves. They will conserve the whole forest, and that will ultimately sequester a lot of carbon dioxide into it. As you all know that the mangroves has the capacity to uh, sequester 4x more carbon dioxide than the other type of forest. So it is a very fancy project actually, and this carbon credits generated from this kind of projects are called as blue carbon or blue carbon credits. So, and these are very much high in demand right now. These are gaining traction nowadays. Now the second methodology is afforestation and restoration. Reforestation of lands except wetlands. Any land except wetlands is eligible to get registered via this methodology. So in this, let's consider a baseline scenario is there is a degraded land, but there is nothing, no, there is a little or no forest cover. Let's consider 5 to 10%, and a project proponents go there and they start planting more and more trees, and they somehow manage to increase the forest cover. So here also they can get the carbon credits issued for their efforts. The in this thing, basically, uh, the carbon greenhouse gas is removed by the sinks. The sink is called as the forest. Okay. Here also the above ground biomass, below ground biomass, dead wood litter, and soil organic carbons are the stocks where the carbon is stored. Okay, so now I'll just give you a quick overview of some of the projects which are already registered. This is Kariba Red Plus project. This is top one of the top 5 largest projects that are registered for the voluntary carbon market. Okay, so this project is going to sequester around 200 million, 200 million carbon credits from over a period of 30 years. They are going to do activities like improved agriculture, fuel wood plantation, and fire management. So basically, this is a improved forest management project. This project was of area of around 7 lakh hectares, and the annual average emission reduction is around 65 lakh 50,000, somewhere around it. So the money that the government revenue that they get from this project, they use it, of course, they use it for funding the project. And the second thing, they use to improve the health and education facilities in the area. So the second project is reforestation of degraded land by MTPL in India. MTPL stands for I guess Mangalam Timber Private. So now come to the next point, MTPL. MTPL, there are total 10 to 20 projects which are registered for carbon credits from India, and this MTPL is one of the biggest projects. So MTPL carbon sequestration project is basically what they have done is they have reforested a degraded land of around 3,000 hectares of land. The project cover is 3,000 hectares. This is owned by around 12,000 farmers, and the land, there are total 12,500 land parcels. This project is majoritarily located in Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and some part of it is in Chhattisgarh as well. And it generates around 1,50,000 carbon credits a year, which is a very decent amount. So now coming to the very last slide. So price of carbon credit. So the price here, there is no fixed price for carbon credits in the market. The market is very much buyer driven. Whatever buyer agrees to pay, project proponents have to get that, sell it for that price. But there are two factors that affect the price. One is the type of project that I have listed here, and second one is the its contribution towards various sustainable development goals. Okay, so these are the two main factors. So let's consider there is an afforestation and restoration project. So the per ton there will a carbon credit can be sold for around 10 to 15 US dollars, and for afforestation and restoration project with the CCP certification can get around 15 to $20 for per carbon credit, whereas renewable energy project can get around $6 to $9. And improved cook stoves are also in very much demand, so they get a good price of around 8 to 10 US dollars. So thank you very much, everyone. That's all from my side. If anybody has any question, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tanish. It was informative and quite crisp presentation. There is a question from Dhanashri Kulkarni. What is the minimum square meter area of project which needs to be considered for carbon credits?
Give me a minute, ma'am. What is the minimum? Hi, Dhanashri, ma'am. Ma'am, there is no minimum area, but I would suggest that the area should be large enough so that we will be able to register, because the registering cost and all the things included are very much cost heavy. So we should be able to pay for those as well. But there is no such bar that for a minimum square meter of forest.
One question, like since this carbon credits, role of carbon credits, this I think seems to be one of the most important aspects. So I would like to ask the speaker that like what are the learning avenues about this whole thing? Like if somebody really wants to go into details of this or become a consultant like you are, like what kind of expertise are needed, or are there any such programs which we can learn from?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is no particular program about it. One must have knowledge about basic environmental things like the climate change and overall things that are happening right now, climate change, global warming and everything. Second of all, carbon accounting and everything, you need to know how to do it. That how do you measure the carbon amount of carbon reduction? How do you measure the emissions, etc. So that is all that is need to be learned in order to become a consultant.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other question? I think Neha,
there's one question from Priyanka Ghate. Apart from forest and wetlands, can grassland restoration be included for carbon credits?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Any type of restoration project can be registered. There is no particular criteria for that. So yes, grassland restoration can be included. Yes, as long as it sequesters some amount of carbon dioxide.
Yeah, Anita Pereira is asking, is there any website which can show the carbon storage or emission of particular area?
Is there any website which can show emissions of a particular area? No, I'll have to look into that. But there is no particular website that I know of.
Okay.
So Piyush is asking a question. Can you also share any restoration project or associated project that you may have worked on a small scale?
Hi Piyush sir. Actually, we are a startup, so we haven't really worked on any such project yet. But yes, we have worked on clean energy projects so far, and we are in position to acquire one restoration project in Maharashtra, hopefully.
Yeah. There is one question from Deepal. Can agricultural land be assigned for carbon credits?
Yes. Yes. Hi Deepal. This agricultural land can also be assigned for carbon credits. Yes, there are some methodologies for it, but it is a little complex. But yes, it can be done. Some of the there is one project in Punjab, I guess, which is registered. that is agricultural land only. So yes, agricultural land is eligible.
Sanjeev Jagtap has typed his question. For one carbon credit, how many trees needs to be planted, and monitoring for needs to be done for how many years?
So actually, there is no one formula for it. There is no particular formula for it. It depends on a lot of things. It is a very technical thing. But yes, a monitoring it needs to be done for more than 10 to 15 years. Some people do it for 30 years as well. But anything about 10 years is a good period of time. And again, there is no particular formula for that how many trees need to be planted for one carbon credit. But there is one thumb rule that we use, that let's consider it, if it is a 1 acre of land. Yeah, if 1 acre of land, a fully grown forest can sequester around 100 to 150 tons of carbon dioxide a year. So I think I have answered your question, Sanjeev sir.
Thank you for your technical and informative presentation. I truly appreciate, because this is a side that most of the people who are working are not aware of adequately. And thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, your information with us. So the mitigation part is like for the ongoing projects or for the future projects, right? Mainly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So is there a national or international level debate on what the carbon has been already dumped into the global commons of atmosphere? And like this is like we are going to keep that carbon. I mean, we are going to do the quote unquote carbon emitting activities as long as we can find market mechanism to offset them. I mean, and of course, there is restoration and reforestation. There are good activities. I'm no doubt, but it is like you keep on doing bad things. We'll keep on finding ways to offset your bad things.
Yes, exactly. So yes, so that is the most highlighted criticism that this market gets. But one thing I have in mind right now is at this point we do not have any such technology to decarbonize fully. We cannot decarbonize any sector at a very considerable level. So for now, at least for a period of 5 to 10 years, we can use this mechanism, and after that, we may or may not dump it.
No, that's true. I mean, I just wanted to clarify, and thanks for your response.
Yes,
appreciate it.